Martin was a nurse with dark clouds in her face that would weep for no reason down Goodbye Road. Drove up from Melbourne, her life in one case, and sat in my office, said, I'm looking for a home. Don't you have someone, somewhere to go? Where are you from, John? I really want to know. Is it like that billboard near the end of their line? Because keep rolling, honey, and you'll find mine. Sometimes you have to head out on your own, because you can die of hunger trying to suck love from a stone. Sometimes you have to go build your dream home from the orphan's haunting. Goodbye Road. Love on one hand, freedom on the other. Gino said no to the jabs and lost his job and his brothers. He found Martin in a stand in the park, where after buying her a coffee, he asked as she stirred, don't you have someone, somewhere to go? Here is somewhere, you're cute, don't you know? Close your eyes, Gino, and you will see orphans can build homes on Goodbye Road. Gino stayed night after night. Then Martine whispered, let's build a light. For my soul is hungry and my heart is on fire, because it knows my love, because it now knows. Sometimes we have to head out on our own, because you can die of hunger trying to suck love from a stone. Sometimes we have to go build our dream homes with the orphans haunting. Goodbye Road.
Okay, we're going to bring on a young poet now who's writing really powerful stuff, and I adore poetry. And so that song there is a new one, Goodbye Road. It's available here if you want to get it. Oh, we got it on Johnny Lada's page. Look at that. But it's there on Cafe Lockdown if you want to go. But here is Jess. How you going, Jess?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Now, how old are you straight up?
22.
You're 22 years old. And you just won the Sydney Poetry something. Tell us what you won.
That was last year, but yeah,
Okay.
I won the state, not the state, the Sydney final, and got to participate in the state final of the National Poetry Slam, I think it's called.
Yeah,
By
yeah.
word, yeah.
And you did quite a controversial poem, and so to do a controversial poem and still win is quite powerful.
Yes, well, I was aware not to make it too controversial.
Yes, clever girl.
I like to toe the line with it when I'm doing it in competitions and try and
Yeah,
sow seeds, but not, be
yeah.
too.
So tell us first off, what is it about poetry? How long you've been doing it? What's it about poetry that you love doing?
I was writing poems in kindergarten, I remember. I've just always loved poetry. I think it's my gift from God, and
Yeah.
for a while I turned that into music, and I was doing songwriting as well. But after I've had a baby, I've really stopped with songwriting and music, and I've really gone back to poetry. So, and I've been moved recently. I didn't have much to say. I wasn't too passionate about anything specific when I was a child, obviously. I mean, I used to write war poetry in
Oh,
primary
really?
school. Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but I was really interested in World War II and World War One and the Anzacs. But just recently, with all the stuff that's happened, I've just found I'll just get really motivated, and it's like a poem just comes out of nowhere. So
Yeah, they do
yeah,
come from nowhere.
yeah,
You're a conduit. Leonard
it's
Cohen says
almost
that.
like, yeah, that's what I say. It's like I'm not even right. It's like it just comes to me, and it's a gift, and I just appreciate it. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm totally the same. Not every poem. Sometimes you get an idea and you work on
yeah.
it, but other times they just flow. You know what I
Most
mean?
good ones, I don't like work on them. Some I do work on, but most of them I just start writing, and then at the end it's a poem, and it's weird, but I love it.
Before we get to the poetry right now, what was it about the wars? What particularly interested you, or what did you write about when you wrote about them?
I wrote about Gallipoli a lot. I was just really interested. I had like hyperfixations on things as a child. I mean, as all kids do, I guess. But I was just really interested in Gallipoli, and yeah, I'm not sure exactly why. And I was interested in things like the Titanic. And then in high school, I was really interested in like big events like 9/11 and things like that. Um,
And are
anything
you
very
interested
emotional.
from it? Are you interested from it from like historically, or interested from it from the people that were there
Both.
and what they are both?
Yeah, I've always loved history. That's always been my favorite subject, and I was pretty good at that in school. But just I'm very sensitive, and I attach myself to like big events like that, and I just can't let go of them. I think, oh my goodness, like it's such a big emotional event. It just really captures my attention, and I
You,
get fixated
you
on
would
it.
have been about 12, would you? 10 or 11 when 9/11 was happened, or even
No,
less?
I was born. I was born 2 years after it happened, but I remember just learning about it, and
Two
I was,
years after it happened.
yeah.
Oh my God.
But yeah,
I
and,
was sitting at home in a little flat. I had a partner then. I think I might have had a child. I can't remember.
mm,
And when I was late at night, I was writing, and it came on. I just had the news on, and it came on, and they were going, "Oh, a plane's hit," and then the planes hit the trade tower. And as I was watching that, um, the news reporter was going, "Oh, there's another plane." She said it like that, and then you saw the plane, and
yeah.
then you saw the explosion, and you were just. I remember my partner got up, and we just sat there thinking, "Is this World War Three? Are we in World War Three now?" It's just that whole world was thinking that.
I mean, that
So
would be the thing to think, yeah.
it was a profound moment in our lives. I hadn't experienced anything. Not that I was there. And I hadn't really experienced anything like that since the COVID years, where
Yeah.
suddenly life changed. So, what was it like for you when the thing happened? You know, and were you in school then still?
Yeah, when it first happened, I would have been 17 maybe. And
Yeah,
I was in year 12 when all the lockdowns first happened. So it really disrupted my HSC and things like that. Um, it was, yeah, I mean, I don't think my parents became fully aware of what was happening until like the vaccine was being pushed heavily, which
yeah.
wasn't until 2021, was it?
Oh, hey, the last 5 years, they're like a slab for
Yeah,
me.
like a blood.
I'm not really. I think it was about. Yeah, it must have been the end of 2021 or something like
Yeah,
that. That's when the big protest started. Yeah, probably about September, November. I think we heard about them before, but then it happened, and it was
yeah,
the mandates, which was the the real word that sort of shock you to the core. You
yeah,
know?
it
Yeah.
was. I remember, I honestly, I thought mum and dad were going a bit crazy because at first
Oh, really?
yeah, because they were never. they're not conspiracy theorists, but they never were into anything like that. I remember being 15 and trying to tell them, hey, I think the World Trade Center was a bit like, that might have been the government, and I was down that rabbit hole, and they were like, no, we don't think that. So I was a bit shocked, and when they first told me, it took a little bit for them to persuade me to look into it, and I'll admit that, yeah, I'm very blessed that they pushed me to not get that, because I was so young and naive, and I was, like 18, 19, I thought I was so smart, and, I'm just so blessed that I had them to.
How did they manage to get you to look? Because a lot of people fail to get their not just their children, but their
Mm.
parents or anyone they loved. They just wouldn't look at anything. So how did they manage to get you to just look?
I think it was the shock that they were not conspiracy theorists. This was the first time they were ever like, the government is doing something wrong, don't do it. That is what made me think, okay, maybe there's something to that. And I just had like an intuition about it. I was so anxious. I knew that if I did get the vaccine, I would never be able to live down the anxiety I would have afterwards, because I already had anxiety about my health and things like that. So
In what way?
I'm just pretty anxious as a person, so I would always convince myself I had a health condition, and I knew if I got that vaccine, I would be convincing myself of a million health issues that I was having because of it. So I
Well,
just,
can I ask though, how was that then at school? You're at school, you're a sensitive poet, suffers from anxiety, and I know the schools were like almost the kids were pushing it on each other. I know I heard that from my kids. What was it like to decide you weren't going to take it and still go to school?
well, see, I wasn't at school at that time. I had gone
Oh,
to
okay.
uni a month, and I left uni before the vaccine mandates came out, which I'm lucky, because I was in medical science. I would have probably, I don't know.
You'd be jabbed
But
up to the eyeballs, baby. They get
yes,
everything in you.
goodness. But I remember I was staying with a friend during the lockdowns, and her mum, and they had both been vaccinated, and they tested positive for COVID. I was living with them all week, and I hadn't been vaccinated, and I didn't test positive for COVID. And from then on, I was like, that's something wrong. There's something weird going on. Yeah, it was a weird
What
time.
was their thoughts though? Were they thinking, how come you don't have it? I mean, were they
That's the thing. They didn't really question it much. They just were like,
that
oh. They
that
thought maybe, I think, because they had been vaccinated, that's why the virus would have showed up in them. But I
okay?
don't
Were they
it,
sick or did they just test positive?
I mean, they weren't that sick. They were just a little cold. Like,
Yeah. So,
yeah.
okay, so what was when for me, poetry is why I love poetry, and I've done it since I was a little kid as well,
Mm.
is it helps me clarify the inner turmoil of my soul. It
Mm-hmm.
somehow gets it out and creates something that I can go, okay, even if it doesn't relate to it, but emotionally is correct. Is that
Yes.
like what it is for you?
100%. It is so cathartic, because I mean, I am very anxious, and I do tend to
What are
overthink
you
things.
anxious about?
I don't know. I'm just an anxious person. When I look at the state of the world, I get very concerned sometimes, and up until recently, when I've turned back to God and I found faith, I
Yeah.
found it very hard to be positive in this world. And especially now, since I've had my baby, like the amount of love and protection I feel for him, it's, yeah, it's overwhelming.
How old's the baby?
He's just turned 2.
2. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm actually really glad you've had a baby
Uh,
young,
Me
you
too.
know? I think it's really beautiful because
Yeah.
you're gonna grow up together. A lot of people
Yeah.
having them when they're older, they're 40, so they get to 60, the kid's 20. You guys are gonna
Yeah.
grow. I think it's really beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, the most beautiful gift in the world.
Yeah, they
And
are.
every
They are
woman
absolute
deserves
gifts.
to be her. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it planned or when you found out you're pregnant, were you like, "Okay."
Well, yeah, I was 19, so it wasn't really planned, but I think it was planned by God. Like, he changed my life, and he really woke me up to, because I was going to vaccinate him. Even though I didn't get COVID vaccinated, I still thought,
Wow.
oh, the other ones will be okay. I got them all when I was a kid, you know? And it wasn't until I was 6 months pregnant and mum was pushing me. She was saying, please, just please look at something, look at this. And I kind of ignored most of what she sent me. But then I watched Robert Kennedy. I watched him on Joe Rogan, and
Yeah.
he's honestly saved my baby from me vaccinating him. So I'm so grateful to him.
It's
Yeah.
interesting, isn't it? So you look at Kennedy and you're thinking, wow, here's this wise, good man. That's what I look at him when I see him. I think he's in a minefield now that he has to tread carefully through. But what amazes me is so many people see him and they see this evil man that wants to hurt their babies by not allowing them to get the vaccine. It's
Oh,
I have a trouble at the moment with the world is like I see one color and other people see a completely different color, and there's no even a connection. It's not like in a hue that meets them up. It's like red and green or something, you
it
know?
is. It's so polarized, so divided. And
Yeah.
I blame the media, and propaganda. It's crazy. It's
So
hard to
let's
do.
talk about let's first off, why don't we hear a poem first? Maybe I'll let you choose it as a poet. We'll sit back. So I'm just going to put you on the big screen. I'm going to fade out. So get very anxious because
Yeah.
you're up. Okay, I'll sit it back. So just tell us what it is, and then I'll cop out.
Okay. I don't know which one to start with. This was the one I wrote the day Charlie Kirk was shot.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm going to go to the.
You claim anti-death while reveling in blood because someone didn't sing the same song that you sung. You propagate justification, eyes smeared with ideological mud. What's your end goal here? Which side will emerge victorious? Will free thought become illegal? Castrating children become normalized? Do we as humanity have any baseline sanity? Do you genuinely want everyone to agree with what you think? Should we collectively board this Titanic of a ship? A population of people who will think the same things used to be known as a dictatorship. An ideological mess of thought policing censorship, but for now we have two sides, two lines, two divides, while critical thinkers observe from the outside. The atomization of nations promotes widespread degeneration of intellectual relations and conversations, divided and conquered by names never uttered. Politics is a puppet show. Democracy is dangerous when we're voting with the minds, systematic beneficiaries shaped for us. So now, the left aim right and the right aim left, hit middle ground and kill the innocents. Until the middle ground is bare and barren, until the people feel pressured to run behind a cannon. Choose your side as society is polarized into a black and white clashing abyss, and only good and evil coexist. A paradoxical perspective based on where you sit. None and neither, but both can be both, and in the end there's only equal woe. It's the end.
Wow, that is real powerful.
Thank you.
There's even though I see a lot of people think that poetry should rhyme, there's real music to the words. You can hear the music in the words. This is so it's free verse. Sometimes you're meeting up and then yeah. Wow.
Thank
It's
you.
I find I was actually wondering, we look back in the Bible, we look back in history and especially in the Bible, they go, this person was a prophet. And I'm sort of feeling, well, how do we know that Charlie wasn't a prophet? Because everyone says he's spreading hate. Oh, he's spreading hate. I go, well, show us. Bring us the video where he just even once showed
That's the
hate.
infuriating thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And he went into the den of wolves. You know, he went into this place that hated him. Eventually they killed him, but he went there and he was never rude to them. They said, oh, he was condescending. He wasn't condescending. He was having hate thrown at him and he just stood his ground and talked back. And I do wonder if in time people go, this was a prophet. Yeah. I don't know. But the poetry, wow, man.
Thank you.
I wasn't going to bring this up, but I think I will now because we can see your dad in the back. And you are Johnny Lauder's daughter. This is
Proudly,
how
yes.
we met. Oh, he's
Yeah.
astonishing. Astonishing
It's
man, great mate. Yeah, there was, but I just wanted to not people to see you for you and not as his
yeah,
daughter first. But now, I mean, it's yeah, this is you've got real heritage there in the freedom movement. It's wow. It's let's talk about hope because I'll tell you something that a young woman said to me early on in the marches, and I've always remembered it. It's always stayed with me. And she said, Michael, you've got a moral obligation not to sell hopelessness, no matter how tight its grip. But
yeah,
it's very hard
it
in
is
these
hard.
times. So, where do you actually see the hope, or aren't you there yet?
I wasn't there until again I turned back to God and I started like going down. I mean, I don't like saying rabbit hole because that gets taken, but
No,
I
hey, everyone watching this is a
place to
rabbit
go down.
hole. They'll probably come up
Yeah.
with dirt on their ears. They go, "Oh, there's the show."
Yeah, but I mean, with all the technology, I've just wanted to know like why are we here? What are we, like very philosophical questions keep me awake at night.
Beautiful
And
question.
yeah, I want to know what is our purpose. And now that I've been studying the Bible this year, I need evidence to believe in something. And let me tell you, there's evidence for the Bible and just the way it's changed my life by trying to live a more Christian life. It's amazing. And that's my hope. I have hope that this does feel like a spiritual war to me. Like I feel like this anxiety that I get and all these um, dark sort of feelings you get when you observe the world. It is because it's currently under control of some dark powers and
Oh
some
yes,
dark motives, and you can feel that if you're awake and you're aware.
yeah.
And it's scary, but in the end, good will prevail. And there's hope. And I can feel the Holy Spirit. I feel at peace. I feel like God is with me, and yeah, that's what helps me.
It's interesting, because ultimately they're evidence, but in the end, when it comes, I think, to a belief, it's a
Mm,
leap of faith.
it is as well.
Someone was questioning me the other day, and I said, "Well, I've come to at my age now, because I've always questioned things my whole life. At
Mm,
my age now, the last 5 years, I have chosen to believe. It's an act of faith, and if I see little things that back it up, little coincidences and stuff, that helps.
yeah.
Um, but to me now, if I reach the end of my life and I was wrong, it's atheists were right.
Mm,
Well, I don't lose out. But if I, but I believe, and I'm not doing this to get into heaven or anything. I just believe that there's two armies on the
mm,
planet: darkness and light. And
yes.
darkness at the moment is winning.
Yeah. I
And like even having you on as a young 20-year-old, 22-year-old, sorry, you've got a 2-year-old young son,
mm,
and you feel like it's a gift. And yet Charlie was out there talking to girls who were basically saying, no, it's not a child. It's in there. No, it's not a baby. It's
yeah.
an inconvenience to me. It's all about me, 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 me. And it was really tragic. Now we've got these full-term abortions here where babies are born live and they're left to perish on the thing without
Yeah.
any sort of human comfort or even medical intervention. I mean,
Horrible.
yourself when the child is born, and they tell us about when the moment. I don't want to go back through all the pain stuff, but the moment that they put this baby in your arms. Okay, did you even write about that, or what was that moment like?
I haven't written about that moment, but I've written about him a lot. But what he's brought to my life is meaning. I didn't have a greater meaning before that, and you cannot describe the love like if you have a child. But
Yeah,
I just it's so sad to me that women are being deterred from that and that but I can empathize because I used to be very liberal when I was in high school because they brainwash you that way. That's I
tell
came
us
out of
how.
the uh,
Could you give
they
us an
do
example of how they brainwash you? Because we came from an era
yeah
where I think it was still happening, but not as bad. But now it seems really bad. So tell us what you see as brainwashing?
Well, at the time, I obviously didn't see it and I kind of benefited from it. We were in a classroom and I remember we had an English teacher. And again, I don't think that she's necessarily a bad person, but she's brainwashed too. She was very pro feminism and she was trying to force feminism down all the boys' throats. And she was doing it in a way that would have made the boys feel like they were horrible. Like it was just
Shamed.
the
Shame.
victim mindset, putting everyone like in a victim mindset. For me to feel I'm a victim just because I'm a woman, I'm a victim, like you're a victim because you have a different skin color. Like just the victim mentality is very dangerous, and they do it through TV shows too. I remember from all the shows I've watched, I had this very glamorous idea of if I want to be, the main character, the beautiful one, the one who ends up happy, you have to have trauma and go through horrible things and be depressed. And like that show 13 Reasons Why should never have been allowed. They say it's for a good, they're promoting mental health, but they are doing it in the wrong way. When you see something like that at a young age, someone kill themselves on TV, it's not normal. And when they're a beautiful girl and they're getting all this attention, it's glamorizing horrible things that should not be fed to children. Yeah, I'm very against TV and I'm very against phones. I don't let my baby watch TV and I won't let him watch TV until he's a lot older. I just hate it.
Oh yeah, we now never watch TV
Mm,
unless we're in a pub and it's on the wall, and all that does is
yeah,
sort of makes us realize our decision not to watch TV was right. I
it
actually
is.
feel quite sick watching it. It's like I'm watching something from 1960s communism, where it's just so full of lies and bullshit.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
I just don't understand why the people on the TV can do it. You know,
Ah, yeah, and the kids shows. Oh my goodness, it's
really,
not
I never
necessarily
watch kids shows. Yeah,
little kids, but what my little sister, like that age group, the 12 to 15-year-olds, what they're promoting, people might not see it as sinister unless they're
it's
really
sinister.
thinking about it. Because what you watch is important. You need to be intentional with what you watch. It's programming you into thinking certain ways, but you don't understand until it's too late if you're a child. Yeah.
How about this all the pronoun stuff? Because you were in school with all the pronoun stuff. How about that? Are you still into that? Is it you still follow that, or is it something that didn't work with you?
Uh, I remember because I was very liberal, right? So I was a feminist and all this. Uh, I'm not. I don't label myself a feminist anymore. But that was when I was like drawing the line. When my friends were telling me that you could have no gender, I was like, okay, that's a little bit illogical to me. I did. Um, I was pro transgender rights. And look, I'm not. I'm not anti anyone. I think that everyone is valuable, everyone's beautiful, and everyone should be treated with kindness. But I don't think we should lie to people and say boys can be girls and girls can be boys. Personally, that's my belief. And I say that with love. I have the same view that Charlie Kirk had on that. I just think children shouldn't be allowed to get hormone blockers. That's terrible. And it's like word policing, it is very insane that we should have to change our language to accommodate something that isn't true. There's
When you were in
objective.
school, though, when you were in school, though, was there a time where you did buy it? You thought, okay,
Yeah,
where they convinced you that
yeah,
a man could become a woman just by deciding he's a woman.
yeah. I did believe that when I was younger, and I mean, I never believed they could genuinely be a woman, but I believed that if they wanted to be a woman, who's like only someone would stop that out of hatred. And I thought, why do you
Yes, I
care?
understand. Yeah,
Because I think they play into that, the left, like the extreme left, they use empathy and kindness as a weapon to kind of push the agenda that is dangerous,
yeah.
which, yeah.
I think myself, if you're an adult, if you're in your 20s and you really feel you got gender dysphoria, and you really
Yeah.
feel that will make you happy, no problem. You're an adult. Go. I just feel that children though need to be allowed to be children because you can't get the innocence of childhood back. So we don't need to force all this sexual education on them. G'day, Barry, and all this other stuff. We should just let them be and teach them one thing: how to think for themselves. Think for
Yeah.
yourself. This is it. Challenge. I'd love it if I heard in school that basically the teachers were saying, challenge everything we say, just
Yeah.
everything. You know? Yeah.
Yeah. I
Why don't we
feel
have
lucky.
another poem?
Yeah. I was just gonna say I feel lucky to have escaped the school system with a
Oh,
entire
it's incredible. It's like I've talked to other young people too. There's another couple of young guys we get on, both Christians as well. We were looking to get them on with someone else just to show young people. So maybe we could do that in the future. They both talk like you. They're very, very logical, and Christian values, but they talk about coming out of this insane education system. But anyway, tell us about the next poem.
Okay. I'll try it. Some of them are a little bit like dark because I write them when I'm anxious. So
Well, what about one about your son, right? I'd love to hear a poem about a young mother to their son. I think it's beautiful that you have a child. Yeah.
I do have one. It is
How's Johnny with the child?
he's great. He's called Poppy. Denzel loves him. It is a bit this one is a bit vulnerable, I suppose. So
It's totally up to you. I'm going to
no,
shoot into the
I'm happy
background
to
again.
share it. But yeah.
All right. Okay. What's it called?
Let me just find it. Sorry, I wasn't.
To everyone watching, this is Jess Larter. She's Johnny Larter's daughter, young mum, and a poet. And we've got her on for her poetry because her poetry is really about our time. It's really brave poetry.
Okay. So this is about my like journey to mental stability, I suppose, in a way, which I got from my child. And
All
I
right.
mean, yeah.
Does it have a title?
Out of control, I suppose.
Out of control. Okay, I'm going in the background. Jess Larter, out of control.
I've felt out of control since I fell into this world. I remember counting my steps in kindergarten. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. My parents won't die if I walk perfectly. 369, 369, an asteroid won't hit us in my lifetime. Those poor dinosaurs didn't have numerical allies to save them from their untimely demise. As I exited my first decade, I took the numbers from my mind and decided to place them on the outside. Wrap them around my hips, secret corset barely fits. 1, 2, 3, 4, the scars on my knuckles whisper of encounters with teeth. Secret back alley fights as my fingers tried to reach my windpipe and lower the numbers dancing around my thighs. When I turned 17, the counting died. My friend knew a secret potion to allure respite. Her train of thought was a similar engine to mine. Hers left tracks on her arm and mine puffed steam that dilated my eyes. Dinner dates with a boy who was quick to pull a knife. I was in love with the thrill of sacrificing my life. But you came along. You exist, and so I stopped coding my numbers in paper mache and counted the lines that tore through my waist of clay as you swelled to life to save mine. Now I kissed you 369 times to calm my delusional mind. Obsessive compulsive anxiety is nothing to me. I welcome it with my Street Fighter teeth. I'd drag my feet through anything for you. I'll follow every routine. I will count relentlessly, meticulously, religiously. I'll churn all my crazy into a smooth exterior, painting etymological pictures, ordering the chaos. Because a poet is just someone with something to say, and the means to say it in a beautiful way. So the universe sent me a reason to stay. And now I count your little toes and I pray that I can be the mum you deserve every day. Oh, I can't really hear you.
I've got a plane coming overhead. I'm laughing because it's so beautiful. It's really, really lovely. Have you heard of a poet, an American poet called Robert Frost?
Yes. I
Have you?
haven't
And
read
do you know his famous poem, The Road Not Taken?
No.
Can I read it to you?
Yeah.
And the reason I'm reading it to you is you've already taken the road that he talks about.
Mm.
Because this was a poet who was basically, he could have gone into society, but he decided to go into poetry, which is like, what? There's nothing there. How are you going to do it? And he became one of the most famous American poets. But
Yeah.
I can see you in that time. So this is it. It's called The Road Not Taken. He's an incredible poet. Two roads diverged in yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And being one traveller, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. That, baby, is what you're on. Sorry to call you baby, but that's it, Jess. You are
Thank
taking the road less traveled. You're thinking for yourself. You're making your own decisions. You're fully aware that we're in a dangerous world. You're having a baby when most of your generation saying not to do it or deciding they've been talked out of doing it. It's going to be a very interesting life for you.
Yeah.
And one
I'm
great
just
thing
blessed.
is you're a
I'm
poet. Yeah, you are, and a writer too. So the poetry and the writing will probably go together. And I hope
Yeah.
you do document your life, because those who take the road less traveled are the ones that write the best novels,
Yeah.
because most people want to take that road, but they don't have the courage. Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
do at an early age. It's
Like I
amazing.
do.
Yeah,
But
even with
thank
your
you.
anxiety. But anxiety, could you think though, with anxiety and with, see, when you're born, life comes along and goes, hey, Jess, you want to be a hairdresser? You want to be a nurse? You can go this way, this way. Here's all your options. And sometimes you can feel, I used to feel it like I'd look at this sheet of jobs and going, none of these set off a light bulb in me. I'm not seeing carpet and going, yeah. I'm not seeing paramedic and going, yeah, nothing on this sheet does anything for me. So I had to find my own path,
Yeah.
you know?
I
Is
feel
this the
like
same for you?
most of the career sort of decisions I made, like trying to go to do medical science and stuff, like I'd made that decision because I watched Grey's Anatomy. Like I've made decisions based upon silly things without actually taking the time. Because deep down, obviously, if I could be a writer, that would be insane.
You are a
Like,
writer, not be a writer. You are a
yeah,
writer. You might not be. You
to
won
get paid.
a poetry competition. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's in the future. But you are a writer, and you're a writer in how you think. You're a writer because the job of a poet and a writer, but especially a poet, is to hold up like a soul mirror to the world. This
Mm,
is what I'm seeing. Can you? This is the reflection in my soul. Can you see it? What do you think? That's what you're doing, and the braver you are with it, the more beautiful the reflection,
thank
and the more important the work. And it's very important in this country, because this country, even though there's a lot of people write poetry,
you. Mm,
poets are like the lowest rung of the art world. You know what I
yeah.
mean? In a way that, it's not like people flock to poetry readings. It's usually just other poets there waiting to get on the microphone.
There's not
But
even poetry in the bookshops, to be honest, unless you're
yeah,
like
that's it. I used to be
run
the
for it.
same. I used to try buy poetry. Wasn't there?
Hard.
You have to go to op shops and
Yeah,
get it.
it's hard to find it. Even really famous poets. I'm like, where are they?
No, they're not.
They're not
There's yeah, it's very, very, very difficult. Probably the only one is
Lee Dickinson and Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe.
yeah. Well,
It's pretty.
what's the English one who killed herself? She was married
Oh,
to that
Sylvia Plath.
Sylvia Plath. She was married to,
Ted
is it Ted?
Hughes. Ted
Ted
Hughes.
Hughes. Yeah. So I used to read Ted Hughes and the English. But you know what really freed me up as a poet? I got a secondhand book. I don't have it anymore. And it was poets from all over America. They had about 3 each. And the
Yeah.
English wrote very structurally correct. Everything was
Yes.
perfect. It was like an architectural as well as meaning, where the Americans were just free.
Very,
They were
yeah.
just whatever came in their soul, they just put it on the page. If it worked, it worked.
Yeah.
And like Bukowski was the head, you know.
Yeah, I think I prefer that too. And honestly, most of my inspiration is from novels. I do love
Really,
I do love poetry, but even Sylvia Plath, I love her novel. Probably, I don't know. I do love her poetry, but like 1984 is one of my favorite books. I think that everyone should have to read that book. I've
he's an
written a lot of
extraordinary
poems
writer.
about George Orwell, and he's crazy. He's so intelligent. He
He's got
predicted.
another great book called very hard to find, called The Clergyman's Daughter.
Oh,
It's
really?
it's about
Okay.
a young woman your age growing up as the daughter of a clergyman
Yeah.
in a time where you couldn't be controversial, and I think she got caught kissing a gypsy or something, and then she runs away for most of the novel and lives the life of a gypsy on the road. I won't tell you
That's
anything more about it, but
want to
it's
read.
remained with me all my life. I just love that, but I just love how Orwell writes.
Yeah,
You're
I do
just
too.
in there, and you don't want to come out. You're just in there, even though it's sad, you know?
Yeah, he's very
Yeah.
intelligent.
So let's go with another poem, and then we'll finish from there. We'll try to get some hope in the last bit. So have you got another poem you want to read?
Yes, let me think. Okay.
I actually feel honored to be with such a young, great poet. It's really special.
I'll be talking to you, Michael.
Me, yes, the old man, the bus, me. But it's really special. It's because it's such, it's the language of the soul. You
Mm.
know, it really is. Because we get to a funeral, someone's died, and some of the
Yeah.
best funerals is that you'll have someone goes, oh, I'm not into poetry, but they'll read out a poem at the
Mm.
funeral because there is something there. So anyway,
It's like
what's this next one? And I'll shoot in the back.
this one's I wrote this very recently about technology and TikTok. When I see kids just on their phones, it just makes me sad.
Okay, great.
And
I'm
I
in the
do
back.
it too,
What's
so
it called?
it's called The Abyss.
Wow. Okay. I'm in.
I just did it again. I just dipped my toe into the abyss, knowing I'd sink into its mist. One more video and my fingers flick. Muscle memory, neuroplasticity targeted by big money, big spenders just experimenting. I'm not in a chair except the one I sat myself in. The one I sat myself down in while I slotted time into their machine. And they stole it, the house always wins. And they won by making our world uninteresting, shoved art into broom closets, bland consumerism infesting, and bred emotional manipulation with the advertising industry. A dopamine addicted culture of overwhelmed offspring, please help us. Who let it happen? What happened to the government's checks and balances? I guess checks were written and banks were balancing numbers that were worth selling our sanity, selling our souls. We don't matter. They sold us spades to dig our holes and bury our humanity so they can keep control. Keep a keen eye on their capitalistic goals. They said, let's show them terror, trigger empathetic responses until their brains develop an apathetic defense, until watching the news leaves their muscles tense, teeth clenched. And if you don't watch, you don't care. You don't care about the children who are getting slaughtered by this world system. Watch them die. Watch them scream. Why don't you want to see? You are privileged and they are not. And watching this screen will make you aware. And once you are aware, well, then what? You're like a PTSD victim, but you aren't. But you are, but not as badly as they are. You're a second-hand witness, less important, less immediate, but still a victim who has to scroll on Instagram to relax your nervous system. They convinced us to live online, to overload our little human minds, to make us blind with open eyes, to fry our brains till we can sleep at night because we are scared of the quiet. And when we are scared, we are more quiet. And the capitalistic globalist system can reap more victims with less opposition to its violence, because we are silent, too busy typing, Too busy thinking posting is synonymous with fighting.
We are scared of the silence. Wow. Okay. Wow. You're sensationally good. I'm sorry. You are quite sensationally good. You got right. You have a gift. So let's talk about let's talk about hope. You're the hope. And I'll tell you why you're the hope. Because we've been watching um, the powers that be encircle and besiege our children and try to get them to turn against us and think like the state wants them to think. Yeah, Christian, I agree, brother. And it's just, it's hard. It's hard to figure out what to do to try talk them out of it because they get so defensive.
Yeah.
But you've been in the belly of the beast and you've come through it and it hasn't worked on you. You somehow shrug it off. And I think this is the power of not just God, but it's the power within you to, I guess your parents as well, but I don't know what it is. But the fact that you've done it, that's the hope. It's like these other young men we've had on. The hope is in them. They've been through this propaganda monster and come out as free thinking human beings.
And it's
That
people
is the hope.
like you, Michael. It's people like you and Candace Owens and, who else? Joe Rogan, all these podcasters who pursue truth and have alternate media to the news. That is what is saving so many people. It really is.
Oh, geez. It's what I think we are. I was telling someone the other day, I said podcasters aren't independent journalists. What we are is there is a renaissance struggling to be born, a renaissance of humanity where people want more than just the latest IKEA product and the latest app. They want something far more meaningful to their lives. And we're on the front of that, documenting what we find, bringing it back. Look, we found this, and this doesn't make sense. That's all we're doing. We're explorers, and then we're just audible about what we found. We're articulating what we found. That's it. That's all I've been doing for 5 years. I actually think it's a new form of art. That because the truth now, a lot of people are scared of it. They see it as dangerous. It could lose them their jobs. I mean, let's be honest. You're in a world where there is no free speech. And what I mean by that is if you want to say what you really think, there could be real consequences. Kicked out of uni, kicked out of your job, beaten up, shot by rubber bullets. Look at your father. Your father's a perfect example. They tried to destroy his life, everything. And so there's not free speech anymore. We have to come up with another term for it. Is there anything you want to say in these last few minutes? Because I've got another interview to go to. Is there anything you'd like to say to people, and especially young people who are watching?
Yeah. Thank you so much for everyone who said a nice comment, and thank you for having me, Michael.
Something profound, something from you, a message to the world.
I think it's very scary to question things, and it's very scary to realize that the world isn't a big, bright, happy place like you kind of thought growing up. And it's very scary once you realize that, and jarring. And I've had a lot of friends get really scared and not be able to deal with that. And I think my message would just be to read the Bible and just to try and find people who are like us, like-minded. This year I've been so blessed to find like-minded friends, and that has saved me. I couldn't tell you how alone and not ostracized, but I mean, it was scary. I felt like I was the only person who felt like how I feel, who was my age. Most of my friends who felt this way were older, and now I have a lot of friends who I know, who I've prayed for, that have come into my life. And I think we need to connect, and I've been wanting to do something, but I'm not sure what to do, to get young people together and show that it's not just older people. There's a whole generation of young people who are against this agenda that is happening in the world. And yeah, just try and find like-minded friends and stay positive, because at the end of the day, good wins. Like, no stories end with the bad guy winning. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, no one likes reading those stories. It's the ones with a good ending that
yeah,
we read and look back at. That what you just said then is hope. Look, we're going to get you back on. I might try to reach out to these other young men at some point. Thank you for a beautiful interview. I was so looking forward to this. I wish we had
thank
a
you.
bit more time, but maybe it's best leaving it as that. Say hi to your great parents and the rest of your family,
I will.
and it's and your baby. You
Yeah.
have a beautiful baby. That is such a joy, because someone once told me when I was about your age and talking about God, and she said, "Well, God is love. That's it." And you love your baby. So
Mm,
that's the core of your truth there. Your God is this bond you have with your baby, which I know it'll be profound for the rest of your life. You
it is
know,
very.
this person came out of you. It's incredible. It doesn't make any sense, but that's how we go.
Yeah.
Take care, my gorgeous one, and
Thank
thank you
you.
for this.
Thank,
And I'll cut off now because I've got to go to David Nixon and there's another show, so we won't end with a song. But God be with you, and I wish you the best, and I'll be in touch.
thank you very much.
Take care. Bye. Okay, everybody, just hang around, and we're back with David Nixon. He's got a guy in from I think it's Argentina, and we're going to go from there. So stick around. We'll be back in a bit. How incredible was that young woman? Hmm? How incredible. There's still hope for us all.